Yeah, but for now, we are moving into our communities. You know, there's something serious that we need to talk about, and that is what we are doing this morning. There has been some issues with flooding. I mean, it looks like this is no stranger to us at all. But sometimes the havoc that these flooding cause, you know, is the problem. You know, when you talk of areas in northern region, there are serious challenges. You know, poverty levels are very high. Yes, everybody is suffering, but when you go up north, it's a total different story. And so when they are also met with such devastation, you know, such destruction, it's really a cause for worry and concern. And I think that authorities must really pay attention to some of these things. Now, we've been joined by our Northern Regional correspondent, Mohammed Aminu Alabira, who is going to be giving us paint a picture to us with some stranded residents in Saboba because part of their roads have been washed away. The road has been washed away.
It keeps recurring, and that's the challenge with the Saboba district whenever it rains. I mean, it's become an annual problem. Whenever the rainy season sets in, the people of Saboba are cut off because then they have the Palba and the Wapuli bridges.
Exactly.
Now, those two bridges are not they can't survive any integrity test. So whenever the rains come, they are washed away. And this will cut off the Saboba district, the entire district, from neighboring towns. And you see, the danger is that this will affect healthcare delivery. This will affect economic activities. This will affect education. And I don't know what the challenge is, but it's like the authorities within the area are helpless, because you see, whatever funds or allocations that have been made to the assembly or the whatever there may not be enough to construct those two bridges. So it should be coming from central government.
You know, and rightly so, because my challenge and my difficulty is the fact that we know that these are poverty-stricken areas. You know, we need to put in place some kind of cushioning for these people. So when we also neglect, for want of a better word, them entirely, you know, because I mean, look at Accra. I'm not saying that yes, it's the capital. Look at other areas, but when you take a visit to the northern part of Ghana, it is not really a beautiful sight to behold, you know. And I think that we have to pay attention to some of these little issues, because we can't have a situation whereby a whole community will be cut off. Isn't it bad enough that the roads are terrible and now they are cut off completely?
As if it's not enough that they are cut off, the floods will wash away their farmlands and destroy their livelihoods. So what do they survive on? Then you have NADMO go there and go and drop some 15 mattresses and you think you've done something.
But is that what they are even looking for? I think that we have to put in place measures to really lessen the plight when it comes to issues like this.
I know most of the buildings in this area are mud houses.
Exactly.
So imagine a mud house sitting in a flood. Definitely it will be washed away. So where do people lay their heads?
Anyway, we have our Northern Regional correspondent, Mohammed Alabira, on the line. Thank you very much, Alabira, for joining us. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you, Asia.
Right, so paint a picture to us. What happened in Saboba? How is the situation? How are people coping?
Thank you so much. You know, Saboba is a district that has two major roads linking to the place. And every year during the rainy season, both roads is filled with water. So residents in Saboba town find it difficult to travel out of the district. From Yendi, there is a main road through Palba to Saboba, and Wapuli side, you can also go to Saboba. The other road will take you out to Terpuli side and then to Togo. So yesterday it was a very sad in Saboba. Tuesday night, a heavy downpour happened here in, I think it was the whole country, but northern region here, it was very heavy. So water took over the road, and motorists and drivers and then commuters, they found it difficult crossing the river. The thing happened at a community called Garamata. That was where the thing happened, not at the usually Palba Bridge. Palba Bridge normally happens, or it normally overflows when the Bagri Dam in Burkina Faso is opened. that this time the Burkina Faso dam is not yet open. And this happened yesterday. It was as a result of the heavy downpour that happened Tuesday night. And when I got there, madam, it was a side street. Drivers find it difficult. Even there was a car broke in the water because they couldn't cross the water. And students too, they said Saboba, because of the bad nature of the place, cars don't usually come there. They only come there on the market day. And yesterday happened to be Saboba market day. So that they were supposed to report to school on the 15th. But because there are no cars there, they also waited till Saboba market day so that they could get cars out of the place.
Right.
Unfortunately, the car they were traveling in got caught by the river, by the dam, where the water took over the road. So they were also stranded there. Everybody was frustrated. Drivers complained that this is an annual affair and that government, they pleaded with government to do something about it this time, madam.
So how long has the situation been like this?
Like I said, it is a perennial thing. Every year it happens. But this one, because it was a downpour, it was caused by downpour. By now, for now as we speak, the water is gone. But
So no, I
a very deep.
But I wanted to find out, or what I want to know is, for instance, has the road been fixed earlier and now it is in a very deplorable state? The road has never been fixed, it's never been attended to, people just have to use it like that. What has the situation been over the years?
Yes, before 2020 election, there was a contractor on the road. He worked till getting to Palba town. But then that was the time the Palba bridge was overflooded. So the contractor also left the road. Till now, there is nothing happening on the road from where the contractor stopped the last time through to Saboba town. Nothing is happening. The road there is very terrible.
So what is the situation this morning?
The situation this morning, though the sky is still cloudy, so one does not know anytime it could rain now. So residents are feeling that if something could be done. So this one, like I said earlier, Bagri Dam is not open yet. So if it does, madam, is going to be terrible. Yesterday's one, it happened on both roads, from Wapuli side and then the Palva side. It happened on both sides. So residents in Saboba couldn't go. Cars could not cross to Saboba and from Saboba to the other side. So it was a sad situation there.
Right now, when this happens, how do people move about? You know, here in the Greater Accra region, when we have terrible flood situations, sometimes you see people being carried on the backs of security personnel. You sometimes see even canoes brought in to help people move about. When it happens like that, how do people find ways, you know, to go about activities? I know it won't be normal, but how do they help themselves?
Yes, thank you. Just as you said, canoes were provided at the scene to carry people across. Usually that is how it happens. But yesterday, because they feel that maybe it was just something that they passed as it has done now. So people were there to carry people on their backs across the river. And people were also in the water directing cars that thing that maybe they can drive to. So they were driving them, pass here, you can use this stretch. So that in order not to fall into a deep hole. That was what was happening yesterday. People that here could not walk through the water. They were being carried on people's back across the river.
Right now, Amino, is there this river? How close is it to the main road? Asking because the road is in a bad state as it is. But if it is fixed and nothing is done about the river, when it rains and the river overflows, will it not come back to destroy the road? It
will. The river is just by it's just by the road. Even if you are riding on the road, you see water. When you just turn your face, you will see water by the road. So I was saying yesterday that if the road is not raised and it's constructed, it will still not solve anything, because anytime it rains, the water would overflow. It's a very long stretch. It's not happening at one end. So
Right.
it will mean that the road must be raised from that long stretch. Else, if it rains, the water will just wash away the bridge.
All right. Have you been able to engage the authorities, say the assembly, the district assembly, or even the NADMO, on what they intend doing in the interim to make commuting on this stretch easy for residents and, of course, other commuters?
Yes, I have. Luckily for me, or fortunate for me, yesterday at the scene, I met the former MP for the area, Honorable the former President Minister. I met him there when he was also trying to cross. So I interacted with him, and he tells me that it's a perennial thing, and that MP does not construct roads. So for them, he will call on government to actually do something on it. But actually, if he sees MPs going into road construction, he does not buy that idea. So over the years, they couldn't do anything. They could not do anything about it. Yes, I called several times the DCE for the place, but he refused to pick my call. I sent him messages telling him why I was there. That it was his aide who called me and said, no, not that the road has not been cut off. The road is not cut off. I said, I am currently standing in the water while talking with you. He said, it's not there. I said, it isn't that. Maybe somebody has told me I am in the water right now talking to you that the road is cut. So he said, okay. So later throughout the day, the GCE never picked my call. The NADMO officer too, I called his line, but he told me, my brother, what can we do? They were arranging to come to the site to see what could be done. So that was what actually happened.
Right. Now, has the water receded? And then also let's look at the impact on the residents around there and users of this road. Are they able to move from one end to the other if the water has receded?
Yes, for now, the water has receded. It's only that it has created a deep hole in the middle of the road. So if cars come, usually it's traffickers that they use on the road. So if they come, they actually find it difficult crossing the road. And residents also say some people farm along the banks of the river.
Right.
And yesterday, this thing washed most farms away.
Is this the main Saboba Yendi road?
Yes, this is Yendi, the main Yendi Saboba road. At a community, this happened at a community called Garimata.
Garimata.
Yes.
What do people there do? We want to underscore the importance of this road and, of course, the impact such happenings have on the lives of people there.
Yes, the people there are mostly farmers and traders. So yesterday, many of them could not access their farm. And like I said earlier, yesterday was a
market day.
So they had to move, some walk, especially the women. They walk on their foot to Saboba, and Garimata to Saboba is not a small distance. So when they got to the riverbank, but they were all stranded. Everybody was frustrated there. So actually, it had serious impact on the life of the people over there yesterday.
And are their farms safe? Because we know that sometimes during this flooding, farmlands are submerged.
Yes, madam, you know, this year in particular, the pattern of the rain is not, one cannot predict the pattern of the rain. In this year, this is the third heavy rain in this part of the region.
Right.
And this thing has happened today. Weeks past, about a week ago, we were, everybody was complaining about the rain because the rains were not falling. But this one is just this week that the rain has started. And this is the result we are seeing now.
All right, thank you very much. Aminu Alabira Mohammed is our Northern Regional Correspondent, bringing us some details from that event. I mean, rains on Tuesday have cut off the Saboba community from other surrounding towns. Let's speak to the assembly member for the particular area where this incident happened. We understand the place is known as Garimata, and the assembly member is Joseph Inyun. Good morning, sir. I hope I got the name correct.
Yes, sir. Good morning. How is the morning?
Very well, thank you. How are you faring?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Help us understand how worrying is this situation for you as an assembly member of the area. We understand this is an annual occurrence.
Yeah. Thank you. I want to use this opportunity to greet everybody in Saboba, especially in Gramata electoral area. In fact, there is a lot of challenges that we are facing in our electoral area. Because it's not raining, but the just started within 2 days later. And when the heavy rain came, the area of the road has been cut off more than 3 times. And it happened yesterday was Saboba Market Day.
Right.
It was zero issue for the cars parked into by passengers.
Right.
A lot of car was drawn in the water.
Right.
They had to look for fitters to come and work on it. And a lot of mountains were just inside the water. And the passengers are not parked. We have to get those who can swim so that we want people to cross the area. I think that is the challenge we have.
Right. Are you able to give us the number of communities in this affected area, the villages or smaller towns that have been cut off from the major towns because of this incident?
Yes, please. While you is packed, Garimata at the electoral area.
Right.
Anjo, Nalo, there is some portion of Nalo, that place was also cut off. And when we have Pando, that place was also cut off.
Right.
And that is not the first. It has happening all the year. We have been singing the government to come to our intervention. And the way is still the way it is. More than 5 years to do.
Right.
When it comes to rainy season, we are suffering a lot in Saboba district.
Right. Now, you are the assembly member for the area. This has been happening over the years, more like an annual challenge that you have. When you go for your assembly meetings, do you raise this at all? And what type of response do you get as in the way forward in dealing with this matter?
Thank you. The letter, I even sent letter to the district assembly office. And when we got to assembly meeting, we are raising the even government, the government came to Saboba. Was even in front of you.
Right.
But the road minister was saying we are here to work on the road. But we are not seeing any serious things have been working. Yeah.
Now
that they are not listening to us. All the time we are singing to them that we don't have good road to move to anywhere. But it's like they don't want to listen to our peers so that they will work for us.
Right. Now, from where I sit, I see two major problems. You have the Palba and you have the Wapuli bridges. Now, these are cut off, or these bridges are washed off when the Bagri Dam is opened. And then at Garimata, the road is being washed off when it rains.
Yes.
So, I mean, have you been able to break this down to the authorities in this manner so you can get appropriate direct responses?
Yes. Even the DC, well, even last year, I visual everything and I forward to them what's happening in my electoral area. Anytime that is there happen, we do want a report. Even there is a big more than 5 years today. I went there with several complaints that they are not working on it.
Right. So we understand that this morning the flood water has receded, but it's left a gully in the middle of the road. So how are commuters getting by?
Thank Sorry. Please, can you come again?
Joseph, I'm asking that we understand the flood waters have receded this morning, but then there's a big gully in the middle of the road. So how are commuters getting by?
Yeah, even all the area, when it happens, we'll get some store and put it there. But if the water comes again, it will remove all the store and send it. This time I'm now confused. I don't know the plan that I'm going to do.
Right, so that means on your own you've been putting stones in there to fill it, but whenever the rainwater comes, it washes it away.
Yes.
All right, Joseph, we're hoping that really you get the appropriate responses to deal with this, because it cannot continue happening every other year. And hopefully the authorities are listening. The Minister for Roads and Highways has assured that under the MERB project, some bridges are coming, and so the Palba and the Wapuli bridges will be fixed. Hopefully it goes a long way to help address your challenge.
Okay.
All right, but thank you so much. Joseph is the assembly member for the Garimata electoral area in the Saboba district, speaking to us, of course, on the issue of flooding in the area. We understand the Saboba community or the district has been cut off from surrounding towns because of flood waters raining on Tuesday dawn that has resulted in parts of the road being washed away, and of course making life difficult for residents there, and the road immotorable for commuters on that stretch. You're still watching Breakfast Daily here on Citi TV. We'll be right back.